Hey everyone, it's Jonathan here, founder of Driving Academy. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the difference between dry vans and flatbeds. So let's go into what are the actual differences between it and what's better, what's worse. So dry van is going to look something like this. This just looks like a normal trailer that most people understand. So it's considered a dry van because the inside is dry and it kind of looks like a van vehicle, right? So it's just like a cargo trailer itself. Now flatbeds, that's where it has no walls and no ceiling. It's just the individual floor. So we're going to be going through a few different categories of what makes what better and the differences between each one of them. So the first thing when it comes to the battle between dry vans and flatbeds, we're going to be talking about cargo protection. So which one do you think is actually going to protect more cargo, the flatbed or the dry van? In this case, dry van is going to win in this case, right? That being said, when it comes to weather, things like rain, imagine thinking like pickup truck versus SUV. So anything inside of the dry van is going to be much more protected to the weather. However, when it comes to flatbed vehicles, there are going to be ways that you can tarp different things to make sure it is weatherproof, but it makes it a lot easier not to worry about any of that stuff when it comes to dry vans. So in this case, when it comes to cargo protection, dry van is probably going to be better than flatbed. Now let's talk about affordability. So affordability between flatbeds and dry vans. Flatbeds are actually going to be more expensive than dry vans, even though you might be thinking, how is that possible? On a dry van, I have the floor, I have the walls, and I have the ceiling. On a flatbed, I just have the floor. How can I be spending more money on a flatbed than I do on a dry van? Well, that's because when we're talking about the used market in general, more people actually use dry vans than they use flatbeds, and that becomes a supply and demand. Because it is so common to actually find dry vans out there, dry van trailers, it makes it a lot easier to actually make negotiations happen and the price can actually drop. Flatbeds are not just kind of the same flooring as the dry van itself. It's actually reinforced because of the actual cargo that it's designed to carry. So when it comes to affordability, unfortunately, dry van wins again. So the next thing we're going to compare these two trailers are going to be shipping range. So when it comes to shipping range, it's all about how many different pieces of equipment can we actually transport and how long can they actually be transported for. In a flatbed, again, you're going to be limited on what you can transport. You'll also be limited on the dry van as well. But when you're traveling across the country from East Coast to West Coast or West Coast to East Coast, you're probably going to want a dry van simply because it's going to be less hassle for you to constantly be checking on the cargo moving forward. Now, you should be checking on cargo, making sure things aren't shifting. But when it comes to flatbeds, you're going to have to tie down this cargo a lot. And all the movement, you're going to have to really be worrying about it and re-tightening up the straps, making sure that the tarps are in place. When you're going long distances, most drivers don't want to worry about any of that, so they much rather prefer transporting things in a dry van when traveling long distances simply because of the weather conditions and all the different ongoing checks that they're going to have to do that will definitely reduce a lot if they're going to be dry van. So right now, dry van is up. So right now, that's another point for dry van, and that's going to be point number 3. All right, next, let's talk about the money, the green stuff. Let's talk about pay. Where can you get paid more, or what actually pays more, dry van or flatbed trailers? So this is where the flatbed is going to start to win. Flatbed, because they are less available out there, it's going to be a lower supply, which means a higher demand. Not as many people do flatbed trailers as they do dry van. That being said, it's more specialized load. Specialized loads mean more specialized skills, and that being said, it requires a higher pay. One of the main reasons why flatbeds actually require higher pay is not simply because you're just driving something that looks like a flat piece of metal or a flat wood without any kind of walls or anything, because of all the extra work that is needed to be done. You're going to need to secure the load properly, and you're 100% responsible for that. In a dry van trailer, all you really have to do is back up into a dock. They load you up and you can just drive away. When it comes to the flatbed, you're probably not backing up into a dock as much, if at all, because there's a lot of places that won't load you if you're in a flatbed in a dock area. They're probably loading you from the side as well. And you're going to have to make sure that you're directing them on where you want the load to go. And then you're going to have to make sure that you're strapping everything down correctly and tarping it if necessary as well. And that is going to keep you active, and that does require higher pay. So if you're somebody who likes to stay active and you want to make more money, flatbed is definitely going to be the way to go. So 1 point for flatbed. Next category is going to be the versatility. So when it comes to versatility, what can be more versatile? Is it going to be the flatbed or the dry van trailer? And in this case, the winner is going to be flatbed. Because when you really think about it, anything that you can transport in a dry van trailer, you can actually put on a flatbed without any issues. Any of the pallets, anything like that can also get put on a flatbed. And all you have to do is tarp it up real nice And even if it does rain or wind or snow or anything like that, those tarps are very expensive tarps, and keep sure that everything is weatherproof and everything is secure underneath there. That being said, it is a lot more work to make sure that you're tarping everything correctly, make sure that you're probably putting the proper straps on there, and you're making sure that the proper distance to make sure that the load is secure. We're talking about accessibility and versatility, right? There's going to be special size loads that kind of have a weird shape to them, and they might not be able to enter to the back of the dry van trailer, and that's where flatbeds really win, because flatbeds have so much versatility on where you can load from. You can load from the back, load from the side, load from the other side, and it does not matter what the actual cargo looks like or what special shape it's in. Most of the time you can actually get loaded on a flatbed a lot easier than you can on a dry van trailer. That being said, if the only thing that you really have to worry about, and this is going to be the same for each one, is going to be the height, right? So on a flatbed, you actually can get a little bit higher than a dry van simply because there's no roof. However, you can't get so high where you can't go underneath any of those bridges again, but you definitely want to watch that out. So that's another point for flatbed. Let's see what the score is at this time. So if you're liking this video, let me know, who do you think is going to win, flatbed or dry van trailer? Put in the comments below and let us know if you want a comparison video on any other type of trailer or any other type of truck. Let's see what we got going on. Subscribe to the channel. All right, back to the video. Let's talk about the next topic, which is called career advancement. Now, when it comes to career advancement, that means a lot of different things. What can we make more money in? What's going to be more secure? And where can I actually grow in the actual company itself? So that being said, because flatbeds are actually much more rare than dry van trailers, the career advancement opportunity in flatbeds are a lot higher than dry van trailers. Simply because the skill set, like we talked about, is going to be different, and that becomes a specialized skill, which means now when it comes to the value that you have for the company, you're able to grow more and more into management potentially and into different vicinities, because you have the ability to actually drive a flatbed trailer safely and make sure that the load is secured every single time. So that is another point for flatbed trailers. And the last one we're going to be talking about is going to be which one's actually healthier to drive. Now, this is not something that most people actually think about, but it is an actual thing to worry about, because at the end of the day, if you don't have your health, what do you got? So we're talking about flatbeds and dry van trailers. Now, healthier wise, it's actually more risky to drive a flatbed trailer simply because you have to climb on top of the cargo, move all these straps around, and a lot easier to actually drive a dry van trailer itself. But if we were going based on risk, then of course flatbed would lose. However, we're talking about healthiness. Now, healthiness means staying active and eating the right things. Now, you're probably going to be eating the same thing, whether it's a flatbed or a dry van. Now, the other thing is going to be you're probably definitely going to be more active driving a flatbed trailer, simply because you're going to have to do things like move all these chains around, move all these straps, make sure you're securing the cargo correctly, and all that up and down movement, as long as you're doing it safely, you're not slipping on anything when it's snowing or raining or icy or anything like that, you're actually going to be a lot more fit. I actually have a cousin of the family who drives dry van trailers and another cousin who drives flatbed trailers, and the flatbed cousin actually is a lot better shape than the dry van trailer cousin, because all the dry van trailer cousin really has to do is go to the back, make sure the load is secure, make sure everything's good, and kind of just close the doors and keep going. However, the flatbed trailer cousin, he actually has to do exactly what we talked about. Climb on top of this, climb on top of that, bring this heavy chain across there, throw the strap over there, and then secure everything and make sure everything's moving forward. So when it comes to healthiness, flatbed is definitely going to be winning. So at the end, what is the final score? Looks like it is flatbed. They're the winners. And if you don't believe me, let's go try for yourself. Now, another downside of flatbed is most people need more experience when it comes to that. But there's a lot of different companies out there that are willing to hire you with no experience, and they'll train you up for it. So if you're interested in making more money in the trucking industry itself, and you don't have your CDL license, come get your CDL license at cdldrivingacademy.com. We're here to help you out up until the day you die with our lifetime job placement program. We're open up 7 days a week, so that means you get to pick the schedule that you like. We have a guaranteed training course as well, which means all you have to do is come in, start the training, invest in yourself, and don't give up until you get your CDL license, because we're going to guarantee that you walk away with the result that you want. That being said, check out our website, cdldrivingacademy.com. Again, cdldrivingacademy.com. I can't wait to see you again. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, make sure you hit that like button. Also, subscribe to our channel. It's really going to help us out. Click on that button. And if you want to continue yourself on your road to freedom, here's more videos to watch. There's endless amounts. Hopefully we get to see each other one day very soon. Thanks.